it's Kay. Welcome back to How to Need Organizing, Organizing for Real Life. Now today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about organizing for your period. Now for the 10% of males watching my channel, don't click off just yet. Are you a dad? Keep watching. And if you're a mom, or if you're a teenage girl yourself, or if you're an adult like me, you can also benefit from this information. If you love home organizing tips and lifestyle organizing tips, please subscribe to my channel. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on the channel. Now before we get into my period organizing tips, I'd like to get on my soapbox for just 1 second. I think if you're a mom or if you're a dad, I don't think it's too early to talk to your child about the way that her body works. I personally was very lucky to grow up the daughter of 2 physicians. Things that happen to your body, things that were bodily functions, were not taboo in our family. They were just, things that happen to your body. My mother sat me down and told me about periods when I was, I think, 6 years old or 7 years old. I was very, very young. She told me in a very matter-of-fact kind of way. I didn't really care as much about it when I was 6 or 7. I kind of just said, oh, okay, well that sounds interesting, and I'll wait for that to happen. Anyway, when I did get my period when I was about almost 12, I wasn't surprised, I wasn't shocked, I just knew what was happening, and I was able to prepare and grab the necessary items I needed, and it was never very traumatizing to me. So I feel like if you are a parent, it's never too early to talk to your child about how their body works. Don't leave it up to the teachers at school. Don't leave it up to her friends to tell her. Don't leave it up to, her finding out on the internet. Sit down, have a chat. It's not a big deal. It happens to pretty much 99% of women throughout their lives, so it's something she's gonna have to learn about anyway. It might as well come from you. It's not awkward, it's just the way your body works. There, I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. Anyway, I don't know why it took me so long to develop a do-it-yourself, on-the-ready go kit for menstruating times. I have been caught so many times outside of my house, and my period came and I was just taken by surprise and didn't have anything. A couple of times I haven't been close to a drugstore. I haven't been close to a bathroom where I could buy a feminine protection product, or I haven't been at a friend's house where I could borrow something. So I've had to deal with some pretty tough situations. There's always the, using the toilet paper situation. That only works for like maybe a few minutes before you can get yourself, some proper capture method. There's always like the paper towel situation, or whatever thing that you may have made up to sort of get yourself through until you can get to a drugstore and buy yourself some pads or tampons or whatever collection method you use nowadays. In this video, I'm only going to be talking about pads and tampons because that's personally what I have been using my entire life. I'm aware that there are other collection methods like the menstrual cup and things like that. I don't personally use those methods, but if you do, please make those applications for your ready kit. So mileage may vary, but it's basically the same for all collection methods. So depending on what you use, you can alter this kit to fit you. So now let's talk about where I keep the ready kits. If you watched my last organizing your purse video, you saw that I kept a ready kit near the door in my purse bag so that whenever it was that time of the month and I needed to run out the door, I could just grab the whole kit and go out and don't have to worry about like taking individual pads and tampons out of wherever I'm keeping them. It just helps my life become a little smoother on the way out. I also keep one in my car because you never know, you could be out somewhere, and if you're caught unexpectedly and your period begins, you can just run to your car, grab the ready kit, and you're good to go. If you're a student, you should also keep one in your locker. That is a place where you definitely have room for it. You don't always have room in like a little tiny purse, but in your locker is a good place to keep them. Another good place to keep your ready kit if you have a job is your desk. And that might not be in addition to the one you have in your car if you do drive to work, if that's your commute. If you live in the city like I do and you take the subway to work, you might not have access to your car as easily while you're at work. So keeping one of your ready kits in your desk at work is going to be very beneficial for you. So your ready kit does require some maintenance because you're only keeping a limited amount of items with you at a certain period of time. But I like to pack my ready kit for protection for the entire day. So if I'm caught unexpectedly getting my period at like 9 o'clock in the morning somewhere and I'm not coming home till 10 p.m. that night, I want to make sure that I have enough feminine protection stuff for the whole day so that I'm not having to run to the drugstore in the middle of the day. And if you are if you're like me and you like to go to Sephora and you like to subscribe to those beauty subscription boxes and things like that, you probably found yourself having a lot of cosmetic bags. This is actually a cosmetic bag from Sephora. I have quite a few of these little bags. I have gotten a few of them, but I kept around about 5 or 6 of them, and this is why I have repurposed these not only for makeup when I travel, but for my ready kit. Because it's a cosmetic bag, it's not as conspicuous, and people might just think you're going to the bathroom to like touch up your foundation or something like that. So you can slip this into your tote bag, or you can put this into your purse. It is going to be a little bit larger, so if you carry around a small clutch or something like that, or a really small bag, you're probably going to have to pack a much smaller ready bag, and you're probably not going to be able to put as much stuff in it. However, that is up to you. If you're expecting your period, maybe start to carry around a larger bag at that time so that you can always be ready to like just throw your ready kit in there. So let's talk about what I have in my own ready kit. The first thing I have in my ready kit is this Thermacare heat wrap. Now this is a really cool little thing you can put on the front of your underwear, and it actually gets warm when you take it out of its package. I'm actually not quite sure how it does that. Now I'm curious. I'm gonna find out. I know it's some chemical reaction, but I'm very nerdy, so I'm gonna be reading about that. However, if you have cramps and you don't want to take some sort of medication, or you don't have any with you, this is a really good option. It stays warm for up to 8 hours, and I like to carry this with me just because it makes me feel so much better if I have cramps and I'm caught somewhere where I'm just really uncomfortable. This is like a little warm hug for your girly parts, and I love it. And so it is a one-time use thing, so you'll need to replace it every time that you use it. You'll need to put a new one back in your ready kit. But they do sell these at drugstores, and they have been one of my favorite things for crampy times. The next thing I've got in my ready kit is, of course, got some pads. I went through a period when I was a younger adult and a teenager, which I only used tampons. I now sort of flip-flop between pads and tampons depending on how I'm feeling. Occasionally I do find that tampons are uncomfortable, even though they're not supposed to be uncomfortable. Sometimes I just don't really dig it. So I like to, carry a variety of absorbencies and sizes, so that if I, depending on the situation, I'll choose, which one I like. So these are always pads, but you can, get whatever brand works for you. The next thing I carry in my ready kit is a little Ziploc bag full of different absorbency tampons and also panty liners. I find that panty liners and tampons are kind of a package deal. You want to make sure that you are keeping your clothes clean most of the time. So I like the backup protection of a panty liner. So I've packed a variety of absorbencies here between like super plus and regular, depending on the situation. And I like to put them in this little Ziploc bag just so they don't get mixed up with everything else in here. Sometimes I find that tampons in their packaging by themselves can come open and get a little gross. Since you're putting this inside your body, I want to keep it as sanitary as possible. So maybe that's a little bit extra, but since this is going inside your body, I just want to keep it as clean as possible. So that's why I keep the Ziploc bag with the tampons. The next thing I carry in my ready kit is an extra pair of underwear. Now, we've all been in that situation where we were caught off guard, our period came, and we stained the underwear. It happens. It's not something to be ashamed of. And you just either, we're in a hurry, can't clean up, can't get close to home, need to, put a new pair of underwear in but can't. That's horrible. Instead of having that be an issue, I like to carry a Ziploc bag, a little Ziploc plastic bag. This is a very small little plastic bag full of the backup underwear. And since this is a Ziploc plastic bag, it's going to keep most of the moisture in. So you can take off your old underwear that maybe are stained and dirty and put them back in this bag, and make sure that when you get home you do take them out and put them into the wash, so that they don't get in here and get ruined. You might as well just throw this whole thing away if you don't. But an extra pair of underwear is a really handy thing to have around. Gives you that extra sense of security, and just in case something happens, because ladies, those things happen. They really do. It's the truth. The next thing I like to have in my ready kit is a couple of feminine wipes. These are the Simply Summer's Eve Mandarin Blossom cleansing cloths. I like these because they don't have alcohol or too much fragrance. They are a little fragranced, which isn't the ideal thing, but they do have a lactic acid on them. So they're not as terrible for you as some other wipes that do have alcohol in them and lots of fragrance. These are for, again, when things are very messy and you just need to feel a little more clean before you can go on with the rest of your day. Water does the same thing with some toilet paper. Toilet paper isn't as sturdy as a cleansing cloth. However, it works just the same. I'm not a doctor, but you should not use these inside of your body. You should just use these on the outside of your body, just to clean up a little bit if you need to, just around the area that you feel a little unclean in. And these also do not flush. So dispose of these just like you would dispose of your pad in the little feminine receptacle, or just wrap them up in some toilet paper and you're good to go. But I like to carry a couple of these just in case I need to feel a little more fresh and less of a mess. The next thing I like to carry with me is a little bit of ibuprofen. Again, this is for cramps and for headaches. Sometimes during my that time of the month, I can also get headaches as well as cramps. And I find that having just a few ibuprofen tablets can really be a lifesaver and make me feel much better for the rest of the day. Again, if you don't feel comfortable taking ibuprofen, you can take whatever drug works for you, or you can take nothing at all if that works for you. However, this is I like to have this with me, and it really works for me. The other really weird thing I like to keep in my ready kit, but I think that it's really useful for me sometimes, is actually a little tiny bag full of quarters. This is about $1. And if, just in case I need any more feminine protection items and there is a bathroom that sells them but takes quarters, I have a quarter. I know that I've still seen those machines every now and again in public bathrooms. Well, they will sell the largest maxi pad you could possibly find on the face of the planet for a quarter, and I will be like, yes, I need that right now. Nothing I'm having right now works for me. So I find that just as a little safety net, just in case everything falls through and I have nothing else left, or maybe I used most of the stuff in my ready kit, God forbid, and I needed something else, I've got quarters and I'm ready to go. Normally I don't keep quarters in my wallet because I use them for parking meters, because I live here in the city, so I have sort of a collection of quarters someplace else. So these are special designated period quarters, $1 investment that is very much worth it. The last thing I keep in my ready kit, and I'm sort of embarrassed about it, but it's true, is a little piece of chocolate. Sometimes when it's that time of the month, you can be feeling really cruddy and you just feel kind of gross, you might be a little bloated, you might have a headache, you might have cramps, you just feel kind of poopy. And I find that having a little square of chocolate or just a little piece of chocolate might make your day a little bit better, especially if you're caught unawares in public with your period. You're like, oh my gosh, I need to feel better. Little bit of chocolate is a really good thing to have in here. And moms, if you're packing your daughter's ready bag, this is a really nice surprise to find in there. If she's, you know, she's at school, she's having a really cruddy day, she's like caught unawares having her period, and she finds this little piece of chocolate, that's gonna be really amazing. That's gonna make you the #1 mom or dad. The other thing I find really useful during my period and my entire cycle to keep me organized is the app called Clue. Now, Clue is not sponsoring this video. They don't have any idea who I am. I just really like this app. It's an app to actually track your period. It's available on iOS and Android, I believe. If not, I will put a correction in the annotations somewhere on the screen. But it's a really, really neat app. It keeps track of how you're feeling through the day. Of course, you have to give it data. So how you're feeling all the way during the month. The day you start your period, you just let it know, and you let it know how heavy the flow is, if it's light, if it's heavy, whether you're having cramps, whether you're feeling sad, whether you're feeling anxious, all that stuff. And after a few months, it'll take the data and be able to, you know, predict when you're about to maybe have PMS, or maybe when you're ovulating, for ladies who are trying to have a baby, or when, you know, you could be starting your period. So this is very helpful for people who are very regular, but I think can be even helpful for people who are not so regular on their period, just to keep keep tabs on what those patterns are. And because I feel like every woman goes through a period of not being regular. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like that's the case for most people. I feel like they can either be like regular through all their lives and then all of a sudden they're irregular and then they're regular again, which was the case for me, or they can start out really irregular and become regular, or maybe some people never become regular. But the app Clue can help you distinguish some patterns in your mood, patterns in your cravings, pattern in the way that you feel about your body, patterns in your weight and things like that. And I find that it's very helpful and can be very reassuring in dealing with something that is not so awesome for most people, but it actually, to me, sort of almost gamifies the situation, which makes it fun for me personally. I like anything that's gamified. Like, I remember when Foursquare was totally gamified and you would check in somewhere and you would get so many points and blah, blah, blah. And now they have Swarm and it's not as fun anymore. I need more things to be gamified. Can we get on that? Because Foursquare, can we actually bring back Foursquare and get rid of Swarm? Foursquare was so much fun. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, give it a like. If you are not part of the Hubney Organizing family, please subscribe. It's totally free. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Oh my goodness, look who had the longest walk this morning. He cannot keep his eyes open. He played ball at the park for like 1,000,000 years. He's so tired. Are you tired, Bubba? Okay. I let you sleep.